What's up? You see it on the box. Timing belt water pump kit from D&J, domestic and Japanese. Ordered this thing on good old, want to say Amazon. Yeah, it was Amazon. So here's your belt. Don't crimp from D&J B296 01-2020. So there's your belt. Here's your tensioner. And if you can see here, this tensioner right here, you want to line up with this. So this will spring back, these two. This will spring back like so. I got a right-handed, I'm not left-handed, but that'll spring back like so, and then you tighten it down. Then you release. So that's your tension right there. And they have a little tool that they make to pull this forward and back once it's installed, once your nuts through it. Here's your water pump. So this is pretty simple. 1, 2, 3 little bolts right there on the bottom. This one holds the timing cover, I believe. And this one has the metal propeller. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Some of them have the plastic one. When I called O'Reilly's for this timing belt kit, it didn't come. No, it did come with the water pump, but they wanted $110. And all you got was the tensioner, the water pump, and the belt. They did not include these seals. So you got this CS 803. You got this other seal right here, which is a water pump seal, I imagine. Goes on the back. Yep, sits right in there on the water pump. So that's your water pump seal. Get that out of the way. And then one of these is the cam and one is the crank on both of those seals. And it didn't include these two cam and crank seals in the O'Reilly's kit. And it was like around 120 bucks, you could say. Just for the tensioner, water pump, and belt. So we got the car here. We're waiting on parts to finish this Audi. Like I had showed in the video before. We're waiting on a seal, and I had already sent him to go get that. So we're waiting on that seal, and that seal hasn't arrived yet. So it was supposed to be here today, but he went to the dealership and they said it won't be here till tomorrow or whatever. And we got this beautiful non-stop. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a light non-stop drizzle all day long. So we got this edged up in here and we're working on it. So I wanted to show you guys this. This is the most important thing I wanted to show y'all. The timing belt on this thing went, and as you can see, it's I don't know how well you can see that. It shaved all the teeth off. See all the teeth on the belt? We're gonna clean that out real good. My finger's a little fat, don't fit in there. There we go. Okay, here's some teeth. You see these teeth? All right, there we go. Hold on. You see these teeth right here that are ripping off? That's the problem. So sometimes the belt breaks and sometimes it just fails like that, where the teeth just shred off of it. And those teeth don't grab on anymore. And you end up with a no start, trying to start the car and it turns and the crank is spinning and spinning, but nothing. I mark the crank so I know which direction the crank rotates on this engine. And it had a little blue mark right there, and I just put a little extra Sharpie over it. And then I put that mark on the sprocket, but this sprocket doesn't have a timing mark. You actually don't time it from here. So if you look at yours, you're not gonna have that timing mark there. This is a 19 millimeter, I wanna say. I can't see it looking at it through. Yeah, 19 millimeter. And it's a 12-point socket because of the little Volkswagen 12-point nuts they love to use. So that's what you'll use to rotate the bottom crank. And can't get that last one, those last ones out. I'm about to take the belt off anyways, and I'll get it all out. It's just, we'll clean that out in a minute. But let me show you up top. Up top, we got a timing mark here. You see this arrow on the OT? That's supposed to line up with that indentation in the pulley. And then there's your belt. So when you pull the timing cover, you would see that the belt wasn't broken, but the teeth were definitely shredded off. So there's your tension. Here's your upper cam gear. There's your tensioner, and then there's the water pump. And then there's your crank down at the bottom. Now it appears this belt's already been replaced before. The car's like at 130,000 miles. So I haven't even released this motor mount yet, which I'm going to get all these pulleys and tensioners off. I'm gonna release that motor mount, but not yet. I got this into cylinder number 1, and I put the balloon on it, so as I'm rotating it, I could see which stroke is the compression stroke as that's filling up with air. I removed the battery, and I went ahead and removed this coil pack. That coil pack normally sits there because that's where you see your timing mark. Let's see if I can get this thing to focus in there. That's where you see your timing mark, right in here. That little hump right there, you want it centered in that hole, and that's how the bottom crank gets aligned. So that's why I removed this, to have good easy access to that. This ground was originally bolted to that nut right there under the hose, and into that nut was that ground to the battery. So I removed the ground because the ground otherwise runs on top of it. So if you're looking for it on yours, you're not just gonna see it. It's gonna be hiding under the wire. You gotta move the wire and then you can see it. But yeah, that's on time. And then the top is on time. Let's see if this will focus here. And that is a 18 millimeter bolt on that pulley. Now, this is an interference motor. I'll let y'all know. It's an interference motor. So let me break that down for those of you that don't understand interference motor. Interference motor usually means the valve hits the piston when the timing belt jumps timing. So this was an old man driving this thing, and he was going slow. real slow. He wasn't even on the gas. He was just coasting and the car shut off. So it's a possibility that the valves ain't bent. I told him if they are, you know, it's gonna be more money. So he's already expecting that. But there's a possibility that I could just put this timing belt on it and fire in the hole and it's good to go. And I saved this guy a whole bunch of money. The timing belt kit wasn't expensive. I want to say like $60 on Amazon Prime. Took 2 days to get here. So it's a good first step. If we end up having to do more work, then we end up having to do more work. He got another timing belt anyways. If the motor's not salvageable, not good, then because you know the valves are bent and we're doing head work and it's getting expensive, sometimes it's cheaper to replace the motor. We could still take that timing belt kit and put it on the new motor so that he'll know the new motor will have a new timing belt on it. So we're really not losing a whole lot by doing this. And he could win in a major way if that fixes it and it makes it a quick fix for me and gets it out. So anyway, it's about dinner time. This rain don't stop. I'm gonna go eat, and then I'm gonna come back and put the belt tensioner on, loosen the motor mount, you know, finish up the little job. I'm making another video for y'all to see the conclusion on this. This is just kind of showing you timing marks on a Volkswagen Beetle. For those of you that haven't noticed, this is the 2.0 non-turbo engine. It's a 2003 model. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I can say. The interior is pretty clean on the car. The body on the car is pretty clean. And the engine don't have a whole lot of leaks going on. So hopefully we can save this thing. He was ready to dump $1,000 into it. I'm hoping he don't have to dump all that into it. Valves ain't bent. When I called the dealership to speak to them at the dealership about how much a timing belt kit was for through the dealership, because I didn't want to wait, and then I also wanted to know what engine was in here, so I gave them the VIN number, and they said it was the B, I want to say BDV or something like that. It was the B, forget the middle letter. It started with a B, ended with a V, as in Victor. So there's like 3 different 2.0 engines. So that's the code for this one. And I called to get the code because I was shopping out another motor, what it would cost. And another motor for this is like $300-400. And then I was also wanting to talk to the dealership, and I told them the situation, and they said most likely it didn't bend valves. He said, I've been here a long time. I know it's an interference engine, but he would have had to have been revving it hard when the timing belt busted to bend valves. So hopefully we'll see. Even if the valve is slightly bent, it'll run with a miss, but it'll run. So we'll see what happens. We'll go from there. There'll be another follow-up video. Keep you in suspense right now with are the valves bent or not. Anyways, I'll have this thing put back together tonight after dinner. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the follow-up video. Peace out.